Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, as always, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' constant generosity and your support to me as always. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. If you guys are actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, the loyalty crown badges, if you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember, that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, I apologize for not getting to the kit right away. I had an exam today, so I had to focus on that. We did ace it though. We did ace it, which is great. So I can now get this video done, especially before maintenance begins. And I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on this character. You know, some people say that she's good, some people say that she's pretty bad, some say it's mid. So I wanted to give my opinion, throw my little crown in the ring, and you know how it is with opinions, everybody has one, so let's talk about mine. So let's actually get started. Let's actually put it on screen right here. As always, we're at the Goddess of Victory Nikke Twitter, Nikke motion demonstration and skill introduction for our lovely girl Crust. Remember, she does use the rocket launcher whip pop ding, and is a supporter who provides offensive buffs to all allies through repeated specific actions. When using her burst skill, she grants the party either distributed damage or sustained damage boost effects based on existing buffs. Now, before we look at the kit, let's actually just review this little video, this cute little demonstration for her. And honestly, she does give off these pop idol vibes, which is pretty adorable. I do like the color scheme, the whites, the pinks. I do like the strawberry look to her. I don't know why they emphasize so much on that strawberry aspect when she's not necessarily a pastry chef. She's just a chef in general. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Aesthetically, it looks great. I know sometimes it seems like she stands out, but I just love how expressive she is. She is very expressive, and I like that a lot. The amount of different animations that she has are great. And the burst wallpaper, that little jump right there looks absolutely adorable. Not for me, obviously. I'm not going for MLB. Let's be real here. I wouldn't even try to go for MLB right now. We're so close to 2.5 that I imagine a lot of people aren't even going to be pulling. Especially for a standard character, you might as well just hold off and wait for the 2.5. And trust me, it's going to be a really, really good anniversary. I can't say anything. I promise what I'm saying right now is not just to try to be a hype man, but it's going to be an insane one. So look forward to it. But for now, let's actually look at the kit right now, and let's break it down, because I know some people might be a little bit confused. You know, let's get the basics aside. She's a rocket launcher, water-coated, skill 2 support with a 20-second cooldown, all basic stuff. So rather than trying to explain everything one by one, I'm just going to explain it all at the end. So let's just break down the kit. With skill 1, Grill and Boil, passive, activates when attacking with full charge and itself is in Mylord status and affects all allies. Mylord duration goes up 2.5 seconds. The same thing occurs if they are in blanching status instead, with the duration going up 2.5 seconds. Now, we don't know what those effects are yet, but we will get to it. Activates after landing 3 normal attacks without full charge, affects all allies. Mylord, attack goes up 10% of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. This also removes blanching. However, on the other side of this, activates after landing 3 full charge attacks for more than 1 second, affects all allies. Blanching. Attack goes up 10% of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. And this removes Mylord. Now, once again, we don't know what Mylord and blanching are, but we will come back to this. What I do want to explain is what these 3 normal attack and 3 full charge attacks mean. So if you wanted to trigger the Mylord attack buff that removes blanching, at the start of the battle, you would have to manual Crust and just kind of spam her rocket launcher 3 times to not do a full charge attack. Now, if you were interested in doing the blanching one that removes Mylord, you would have to do 3 full charge attacks, but you'd actually have to hold it longer than a second. Meaning that if you want either status, you would have to manual for this skill 1 to even work. Now, you don't have to manual her the whole time. You can just do it in the beginning. Think about it like basically starting a car. You just need to get it going for a second, and then you're pretty much good to go, right? Similar thing here. We'll talk about which one is probably the better way to go in a little bit. But for now, let's get to skill 2, Reliable Cooking. Activates after landing 3 normal attacks without full charge and affects all allies not in Reliable Cooking status. Reliable Cooking defense goes up 10% of the caster's defense for 10 seconds and dispels 1 debuff. And once again, on the other side of this, after landing 3 full charge attacks for more than 1 second, affects all allies not in reliable cooking status. You get the same defense buff, the caster's defense for 10 seconds, and the same dispel of 1 debuff. This is reflecting from what happened with skill 1, so basically doing one of these actions will also trigger what's going on with the skill 2 reliable cooking. And in terms of skill 2, you'll get the same effect as long as you just do one of these actions. Remember, if you auto, you will not get any effect here, so I don't think you'll even get this skill 2 as well. And then activates when entering full burst, affects all targets in Milord or blanching status. Attack goes up 20% of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. So now it's time to talk about what the hell is Milord in blanching. What are these 2 different ones that we have to choose from? And remember, she buffs either distributed or sustained. That's why there's 2 versions of them. When we look right here, her burst skill True Flavor affects all allies. Attack damage goes up 20% for 10 seconds for everybody. However, affects all allies when in Milord status. Distributed damage goes up 60% for 10 seconds. Or affects all allies when in blanching status. Sustained damage goes up 10% for 10 seconds. And before we talking about Milord, I just want to say I'm not going to be talking about blanching. That 10% for 10 seconds for sustain, to me, is not worth talking about. I feel like sustain teams right now are still pretty iffy, and I feel like this 10% isn't going to do much at all. Maybe I'll get proven wrong down the line once we get better characters to try to manage that, but I'm only going to be focusing on distributed damage, because that 60% for 10 seconds is actually kind of nice. But this means that we know what Milord and blanching are, so let's actually go back and talk about this. So, since we're only focused on Milord because that is distributed damage, what this means is that at the start of the battle, we're going to have to manual Crust and shoot 3 times really fast without full charge to get this going. So it'll remove blanching, but we're going to get that attack buff of the caster's attack for 10 seconds for Milord, and we're also going to get that reliable cooking for Milord from skill 2. So that's all you necessarily have to do. Obviously, we're going to be doing some testing to make sure that's the way it works, but based on how this kit works, that's how it seems to be tracking. Now, you could do the 3 full charge attacks for more than 1 second and hold it instead if you wanted to do blanching, but I feel like right now with how the teams are, how characters are, especially for sustained versus distributed, I feel like distributed is the better way to go with this. But what are the caveats with this that I feel like is kind of a letdown right now is that this really only applies to 3 characters in the game right now. We're talking about SBS, Reddy, and Quincy. These are pretty much going to be the main people that we are going to see the benefits for. So it's going to be interesting to see when we do testing to see how much better she is with the distributed damage buff. But like I said, I'm not going to be investing. I'm just going to be testing with the Union shooting range. And since we're just focused on the skills, that's actually perfect because now we can just see how good she really is at 10-10-10. If we're talking about should I be pulling for this character and investing in them, only if you do solo raid and only if you have at least like one of those 3 characters I mentioned. I'm pulling for the content, but I'm not investing yet because I need to save all my materials for the Annie. I know it's going to be a big one, so I'm excited. But overall, I do think that she's pretty good. It's just right now, it's more of a focus on solo raid and like very like few units. So to me, I think she's pretty good for what she's going to be doing. But at the end of the day, it's all up to your account and where you're at. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the kit. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you even like the character? Are you even going to be pulling for the character? It's interesting that they decided to announce, like, you know, the Annie livestream and everything going on right when Crust got announced. So they pretty much did the same thing with Clay, where they just kind of like shadowed her event pretty much. Now everyone's just looking forward to the anniversary livestream. But I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts. That is going to be it from me. Enough yapping. I hope you guys have a lovely day, lovely night, wherever you're from. And as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Take care and have a good one.